I'm pretty confident that it's gonna get sold out. I hope. If you haven't got season tickets, you better get them because I think there's like pretty close to 5,000 season tickets already sold, and there's
really.
There's a lot of excitement, and that's exciting. That we don't play games for another year and a half, or a year.
And there's already 5,000 season ticket holders.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, welcome back to the Real Grand Podcast. We have found ourselves back actually at the UTRGV football facility, in a different office right now because we're actually spending some time today with Coach Marco Regalado. I went with Marco, not Marco. So if his parents are seeing this, I'm sorry. But Coach Marco Regalado with UTRGV, he's our new running backs coach. So thanks for being here, man.
Of course, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's when I did our episode with Coach Travis Bush, check it out, guys, if you haven't yet. I was doing some research, right, and I think around that time, when did you get hired onto the program?
So my first day was November 27th.
November 27th. Okay, so I was taking a look at like what's going on in the program, and I saw UTRGV hires running backs coach Marco Regalado. But what stood out to me is that it said that you're from Zapata, Texas.
Yeah.
Right. So and you're from here, but I mean you made your way out of the valley, right? So you did your thing, you made your football career, but then you found yourself back back here at UTRGV in Edinburgh. So I just felt like we had to talk to him, right? So for all like the fans watching, even like the recruits that are coming in. This guy, Coach Regalado, is homegrown, right? That's as much as it gets. And Travis Bush has his roots here too. He's got. Everybody's had a stint in the valley at some point, I guess. Is what it seems like. Is what it's growing out to be. So before we get into what's going on here with the program, a big, especially for everyone that watches, a big part of what we do is we talk to our guests, right? We want to know like who they are, right? So for example, UTRGV football, we're looking forward to it. We're excited for it. We're pumped. But when we watch those games, we want to have a little bit of a feeling, a deeper connection to who's on the sideline, right? So we got to talk to Coach Bush a little bit. Now tell us about Coach Regalado. Who is Marco Regalado? Tell us about yourself, man.
Man, so I grew up in Zapata, Texas. So I grew up in a small town, and my parents really pushed me to be well-rounded. So I did football, I did powerlifting, but on the flip side of that, I was also in the mariachi, and I did theater. I did a handful of UIL events and different things throughout the summer. So that was something my parents really pushed, was just trying to make me a Renaissance man in some way or some form. My path was a little different. How I got into coaching, at first I tried physical therapy, athletic training, but ultimately I got to Kingsville as a graduate assistant coach, and then got into the high school ranks. But the whole time still trying to be that Renaissance man. So like I still play music and kind of enjoy a lot of different things outside of the sport of football.
Wow, that's okay. So I don't think I've ever met anyone like, especially this deep in the football world, that was also like in theater and like in mariachi. That's awesome, man. What did you do in mariachi?
So I played in middle school I played the vihuela, and then when I got to high school I played guitar. I actually didn't sing when I was in mariachi. So I can officially say now, because I started playing guitar when I was 12. I've been playing guitar for 20 years. I didn't start singing until I was in college. It was just something that kind of happened later. But in mariachi, like I said, I played guitar.
Wow, that's awesome. So talk about well-rounded, right? That's cool. So was that ever like? Did you ever consider pursuing music over sports?
No, and a lot of people ask me that. I love music. It definitely is a passion of mine, but to me, it's kind of my outlet.
Okay.
When I need to, disconnect or anything like that, I can play my music and it kind of takes my mind off things, or I can write music. But I don't know if I could do it as a full-time career. It's a different kind of love than the love I have for football.
Yeah, for sure. And I get the whole like needing an outlet thing, because you also don't want it to become work, right?
Yeah.
Like you want it to keep its sense of like joy, like
Yeah.
purely. Right? Like, especially when you got like this whole football thing going so hard, man. That's and so you mentioned that you're from Zapata. Is that where you also played high school and like just like completely grew up there?
I spent my first 18 years in Zapata.
Okay, and you left for college.
Yep, I went to Texas State University.
Okay, did you play there?
I did not. I was actually a strength and conditioning intern when I was there.
Oh, because you mentioned you were thinking about other stuff, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I was trying all these different things. You know, in the back of my mind, when I was coming out of high school, like I wanted to coach. My mom was a teacher. She taught for 37 years. She was kind of pushing me away from coaching and education just because, just like any other mom, you know, she wanted the best for me. So I actually, at first, didn't pursue coaching. I tried a bunch of different things before it just finally came full circle and said, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm made to do and built to do. So I ultimately made the decision to switch from physical therapy to athletic training to just full-time coaching.
And how did that turn into football coaching?
So that was when I first got to Kingsville, I was a graduate assistant athletic trainer. So, spending time around the sports, but on my free time, I started making friends with other coaches on staff, started with the graduate assistants, and that eventually turned into me, meeting some of the other coaches. So I got really close with, he was a grad assistant at the time, but Kevin May and the defensive coordinator, Dave Brown. And anytime I had a break, I would go sneak into the meetings or I'd go to their offices and get on the board and start talking football because that's really ultimately what I wanted. There was some shifting in the staff. A coach left. Kevin May got promoted to full-time and a graduate assistant spot opened up. So instead of them opening it up and trying to find somebody to take over, they were like, well, we got the guy we need or we want. He's already in the building. He's just doing not football. So they asked if I wanted to switch over from being an athletic training GA to a football GA. And to me, that was a no-brainer. That's when it all clicked. I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do.
That's awesome. Did you play football at any point?
In high school.
In high school, what'd you play?
I was an offensive lineman.
Okay, yeah. How did that go?
It was fun. We played in a slot T offense, so I was as a pulling guard, trapped, using misdirection and angles and stuff like that. But now I was a running back at first, but my head coach, Mario Arce, he's at Roma now. He kind of pulled me into his office one day and said, I think it'd be best for the team right now, based on what we need, if you move to offensive line. And I would do anything for the team, so that was an easy switch for me.
Oh, yeah? No-brainer type deal also?
Yeah.
Awesome. And so how long did you do running back?
Up until my sophomore year. On and off, it was like started off primarily playing defense, and then got to high school, switched over to offense, started playing running back, and then my junior and senior years when I played offensive line.
Okay, that's pretty cool, man. So at the heat of the varsity, you were on the line, in the trenches, getting dirty and everything.
Yeah, it was fun.
What was Zapata like? 3A, 4A?
We were 3A when I was there. They're 4A now.
They're 4A now. Okay, so you played some of like rural teams, right?
Well, that was the thing. Is like, so technically, if we're gonna get into technicalities, people don't consider Zapata part of the valley.
Yeah.
But like our district, we played Rio Hondo, Progreso, Lyford.
Okay.
Port Isabel, I don't know if I already said them, Raymondville. So like everybody we played was a 2-hour drive. We played in the valley.
Yeah.
So I would always say I grew up kind of in the valley.
You did, yeah, you did. I mean, Friday Night Lights, you were here all the time. Then.
And we played Roma all the time. So like all our games were this. Of course, we played the Laredos because they were close by, but our district was a valley district.
And it is 956. Right?
Yeah,
that's my area code.
That's actually still my area code. It's been my area code.
Oh, like on your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I moved to Washington, Houston. It's still 956.
So you had the same number?
Yeah.
So if I knew you like in 8th grade.
7th grade. I've had that number.
Everybody that knew him, like, oh man, I know a guy. All of a sudden, everybody has like a connection at UTRGV football. I know the running backs coach, man. I have his number. I got it in like media class or something. That's funny, man. That's funny. So I want to ask you. Okay, so I'm looking at your office right now, and I kind of did my homework as well, but I see a lot of different football helmets, different places you've been around. You left the Valley at 18, went to college. How'd you find yourself? Let me ask you this: how'd you find yourself at UTRGV football?
So
it was a bit of a homecoming, right?
Yeah.
Were you already here?
No, it kind of came full circle.
So how did that happen?
So after I got done at Kingsville, I had an option to stay there or get into high school. I got into high school, so I stayed in the Coastal Bend for about 4 years. I coached at Santa Gertrudis High School in Kingsville. I went to Mathis High School. And then I came down because the guy, going back, Dave Brown, the guy who was at Kingsville as the defensive coordinator, got the head coaching job at PSJ Memorial. So when he got the job, he called and offered me a job, and that's one of my mentors. So I moved to work with him for a year.
There's a helmet right there, PSJ,
PSJ Memorial.
You guys can't see it, but it's shining. Yeah.
So like I said, I spent a year at PSJ Memorial, and then I got an opportunity to move to Fort Worth to go coach at a 6A program there, and that's something. Again, I felt like I spent my whole life in South Texas, and I wanted to go venture out and experience things. So that was my first move. I went to Fort Worth at Eden High School, and man, it was fun. We were in a district with like South Lake Carroll and the Keller schools, and
played those guys.
Yeah, Quinn Ewers was on that team. So I mean, we got to see some. I got to see some special football. We made it 3 rounds in the playoffs. Played at some really cool venues. So that was just a really cool experience. And then by February of there, I was there for 7 months, and I got a call to go to Washington State.
After 7 months at 6A.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's Washington State. I came in as a recruiting assistant. So it was not on the coaching side of things, on the recruiting side of things, very entry level. But it's getting back into college was something I wanted to do, and I was willing to make sacrifices for me. That looked like I had to move 2,000 miles away. I had to take a $40,000 pay cut. I had to do what it takes, but I wanted to get my foot in the door. I was there for about 6 months before I got my first promotion to director of on-campus recruiting, and then another 6 months later, I was promoted again to director of recruiting. So to be able to be, I was maybe 29 or 30, had only been doing college football full-time for like a year, and to be the director of recruiting at a Power 5 university in the Pac-12 was just something I would have never really imagined. I held that title for a bit, and then I got a call from somebody I met a while back and just kind of stayed in contact with him. It was Mike Bloomgren, who was the head coach at Rice. And that's when I got a call and he asked if I wanted to come back to Texas. And at that point, I was already getting a little homesick. So
yeah,
I took that job, and it was another step up. Instead of being I was the number 2 or 3 at Washington State. I was director of player personnel, oversaw all the recruiting for Rice football. And I mean, we were able to do some special things and, bring in the number 1 rated recruiting class and get them back to a bowl game. So they hadn't been to one since 2014. We actually went to 2 back-to-back bowl games. But I guess you asked how I got to UTRGV. I've known Coach Bush for a while now, and I just met him because I mentioned earlier I played in the slot T offense. Well, his dad is one of the pioneers of that offense. So I was kind of in that coaching tree. I played in it and I coached in it when I was at Santa Gertrudis. And because of that, it was probably at a coaching clinic. I went up and approached Coach Bush and just...
His dad.
Both of them. Just kind of started a conversation about it. And that's how I met him. And we kept in contact, and then when I made the jump to Washington State, he'd been at the college level, so he was somebody that I would call and ask for advice. At the time, he was at Canyon High School, so he was somebody that I kind of leaned on for certain things, or if I needed help with things, and just stayed in contact and became a good friend of mine. When he got the job here, I called him, gave him my congratulations, but also told him, hey, if there's any opportunity, this is something really special. It's special. It's near and dear to my heart, because it's back home. It's Division I football in the Rio Grande Valley, and if there's any opportunity, just keep me in mind. So we stayed in touch.
Planted the seed.
That's all. Yeah, just let him know, and we stayed in touch, and that's when the opportunity presented. He called, asked if I wanted to come down and see things, and then we talked and agreed. But I was just blessed he kind of gave me that opportunity. Being in recruiting was great. It was something that I probably needed, and I learned a lot. But I'm a coach, and I missed being on the field. I missed being involved in the game planning. I missed having a room of my guys. So when he called and gave me that opportunity, it was a blessing.
How was that conversation with your parents when you told them you were coming down to the Valley?
Oh, they were probably more excited than me.
Yeah.
I'm only 2 hours away from them. I've seen them more in the past 6 months than I did in the past 5 years, just because I'm back home. I'm closer to home. My brother lives here in Edinburgh, and he's got his wife and 2 kiddos, and I get to be a good uncle now because I'm here. My little sister lives in Laredo, which isn't too far away, and I get to see my niece. So it's awesome. I'm getting to spend a lot more time with family that I didn't get to do before. There's a lot of times where I missed Thanksgivings and Christmases and birthdays and births, and now I'm around. Yeah. And that, to me, that's worth its weight in gold.
So like being present.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like literally physically being present.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can see how that makes... That's awesome, man, because like it's different. It wasn't just that you found a job here. You found like this is like an inaugural program, man. Like this is the very... Like you guys are setting the standard. This is like... And on top of all that, like the Valley's been wanting this for a long time, man.
Oh, yeah. I can tell you. I mean, it's been talked about for a long time, and when they started the rumblings and the rumors, and I was like, I knew that I wanted to be a part of it. I just didn't know how it was going to happen. But I knew part of that was, well, I probably need to go out and get some different kind of experience to be able to validate coming back and being a part of this inaugural staff. So I think it all worked itself out, was full circle. And
so it was on your radar for a while then.
Yeah. I'd always wanted to come back, and especially if this was happening. I knew getting into college football in general, the ability to be close to home was going to be very rare unless a school like UTRGV popped a football program. And,
and then it happened.
And it happened.
That's crazy.
Everything kind of happens for a reason, and I wouldn't change it. I'm very fortunate of all the stops I've been able to make, but this is probably the one I'm most excited about.
That's awesome, man. So for all the guys that are coming in to play for you, and for all, like I said, every member of the community is a fan, man. Like it's undeniable. We've been starving for this for such a long time. Let's get to know you a little bit better here. I'm gonna start with an easy one. Any hobbies?
Well, yeah, like I said, I play music, and I am. It was a Madden league. We're transitioning to NCAA, but a competitive Madden league with 32 other people, and we've been playing since 2019.
Wow. Every year.
And it's just constant rolling schedule. We advance every 72 hours, and got a bunch of guys I went to college with, and other people have been added. But
so it's like a serious thing.
No, it's just, I will say, if anybody wants to play Madden now NCAA, you can catch that smoke.
Oh man,
I'm pretty confident in my abilities. Now I'm not the best. There's years where I didn't make playoffs. There's years where I do make playoffs. But that is it's a fun hobby of mine. Like I said, it's another thing that doesn't take up too much of my time. It's like 45 minutes every 3 days.
And it's easy, right?
It's just go play a game, and then I won't play again until it's my turn to play again. It's just a...
You got a schedule and everything?
Yeah, we keep a schedule. That's what I'm telling. It's just, I like being competitive, so that keeps the competitive juices flowing there. Especially, it was big when I wasn't coaching, because I was just doing recruiting. I wanted to get back into just being around the football stuff. And
because the people playing are it's part of the football community, right?
So that was kind of my fix, and so I guess music and a little bit of video games, and recently I've been cooking a lot.
Oh, I saw that. So as the time of this recording, last night was it like chicken?
It was a chicken breast I made.
Chicken. How are you getting into cooking, or what's that about?
It was just more of like a health thing. Okay. I didn't cook very much. I started cooking in January, and just doing that, I've been able to lose 40 pounds.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And congratulations, man.
I appreciate it, and it's just really, I always knew what to do, but I just never did it, and I'd always
I'd
just end up door dashing McDonald's or ordering a pizza or something like that.
It's easy, right?
It's easy, and I'd always worked out. I'd always been in the weight room, been in the gym, done that, but my nutrition was never where it needed to be, and it was just kind of one of those. The switch flipped. I was like, I got to start taking this seriously. So I started in January, and it's now. I have fun. I have a lot of fun cooking and trying new recipes, and
that's the best part, right? Let's see how this.
And it's sometimes it doesn't taste great, but it's all right. Next time I do this, I'm gonna try doing this differently, and that's something I hadn't done it before, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it.
That's cool. So cooking, music, and then video games. What do you play on? Is this
Xbox?
Xbox. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me more about the music thing, because I was looking at your Instagram account, for example, and a big part of it is the country music stuff. So you're doing that pretty regularly still?
Yeah, I mean, recording, I try to do it's like a once a year project in the summer when I get a little bit of time off, but I'm always playing. And the writing is something kind of new to me. I didn't start writing music. Like I said, I've been playing for 20 years. I didn't start writing my own songs till 2022. And it just happened. You know, it's just one of those things like I'd always wanted to, and I could never articulate it or put it on paper or make it make sense. And then it just started working and started flowing. And um, again, it's a lot of fun. And I have songs I've written that I haven't recorded yet, but I've got like 5 songs on Spotify, Apple Music. I have another song that's coming out on Friday, on all streaming platforms and stuff like that. But that's just again, it's the hobby. I do it because it's fun, and I have no intention of it, going big time. I have no intention of going on tour or anything like that. I do it because I love music, and really and truly, it's my parents love hearing me sing, and I can't be there to sing for them all the time. So I wanted to record something so that they had that.
That's awesome, man. And a lot of times that's like the best, most authentic work when you're not trying to chase something, because it's just purely like whatever you're feeling, that's what's gonna come out. And there's no like pressure or like these other things going on like, oh, like I gotta make it for this, or the people want to hear this style. Like, you're just doing it for you.
That's the thing. It's like my style's very different. I'm not trying to. Oh, what does it sound like on the radio? What's everybody playing? I do what I feel in the music that I like, and it's a mix of modern with a mix of 90s country. It's just
and you're playing little shows, right? Like
like I said, I played with a band for a little bit, and I'll do some solo shows here and there. But again, just when I have time or if the opportunity presents itself. The other day I was eating at a restaurant in Kingsville. Like I said, I used to live there for a bit, so I knew some people, and I had a buddy that was playing a show, and I didn't even tell him I was going to be there, but then he saw me, and then he ended up calling me up, and
like in the crowd, just like that.
So he called me up, and I played a couple songs with him. His name is Jacob Thomas Pena. He's really talented too. You should check out some of his music. But it was just again, like if the opportunity's there, I'll do it. I enjoy playing music. I enjoy performing.
He was telling us that he always has a guitar here in his office, right? So.
Yeah, I don't have it with me, but usually, I mean, since I was at Washington State, I keep a guitar in my office.
That's you gotta have it. That's part of.
You never know. It's a recruiting tool. Somebody, a kid could be walking across, just my door's open, they see that, and it sparks up a conversation because other people play guitar too, or they just ask me about it, and maybe they want me to play them a song and stuff like that. So it's just for me, it's a social piece to it too, keeping it here in the office, and you never know when you're gonna need it. You gotta stay strapped.
Yeah.
You don't gotta get ready if you stay ready.
Yeah. I got a question for you, man. So what's up with that Jaguars helmet up there?
So last summer I was able to do the Bill Walsh Diversity Fellowship. So it's an internship geared towards giving minorities opportunities in the NFL. So I spent 5 weeks out there for training camp.
Jacksonville?
Yep, with the Jacksonville Jaguars, coaching tight ends and special teams, and got to do 2 preseason games. So like, funny story is like, I grew up a Cowboys fan. Like, my parents used to live in Dallas, all that stuff like that, but I'd never been to a Cowboys game.
Oh, wow.
Never. I got to do the Jacksonville Jaguars internship. Their first preseason game was against the Dallas Cowboys.
So that was your first game?
At Cowboy Stadium.
But you were coaching.
So I've never been to a Cowboy. I've coached against the Cowboys, but I've never been to a Cowboys game.
Oh, wow. And you coached at what position? Like at what capacity?
I was just, like I said, intern, assistant with the tight ends and special teams. Okay. So they just give you little projects to do and stuff like that. You're doing data analysis on the sidelines and stuff like that. But again, it's just kind of gets you immersed in that world. You get to see what the NFL's like, and you get these connections and contacts that people still talk to today. So you never know what that could lead to in the future. Was that when Tim Tebow was there? No, it was.
Oh man, you said tight end.
No, it was last summer. So like Trevor Lawrence, and I got to work closely with like Evan Ingram.
Did you? Awesome. Tight end. Yeah. Okay, cool. I was thinking like. Oh, it was last year.
Yeah, last summer.
I was like, was that the whole like
with Urban Meyer?
Urban Meyer and
Doug Peterson's the head coach there, man. He's awesome. He's a really smart dude. You can see why he's won a Super Bowl before, and from top down, the people he surrounds himself with good people.
Did you get to meet all those guys?
Yeah, those are people you spent time with every day, staff meetings with those guys. So it was a really, really cool, enriching experience, and I'm really glad I was able to do it.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, because I mean, you're gonna take that with you forever. Like,
yeah.
I mean, not the work experience, Plus, I mean, like getting to meet like all these guys, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, but you're in work mode, you know, like
it's not
a fan perspective.
You're not there to fanboy. You're not taking pictures of anybody. It's exactly what you said. It's just their work colleagues, and that's kind of what it's turned into. They're guys that I go text them to check in on them, how they're doing, how their families are doing, and they'll text and check in on me too. So you build relationships with these guys, with the coaches, and with the players in the room, because a lot of these guys they're closer to my age. I mean, it's pro football. They're a little older and stuff like that. So you really connect with these guys.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. So I want to ask you, man. So how far are we out from the season?
400 and some days. I'd say just close to that. 400. I would be lying if I told you the exact number, but it's coming.
Okay, and there's a picture of it there too, man. That's our home field, man. Man, so we're gonna be packing that house pretty soon, actually. 400 days is nothing, man.
411 days. I got some help over there.
Exactly.
411.
Oh, this guy's cheating over here, man. I was like, man, this guy can think quick.
No, I'm pretty confident that it's gonna get sold out. I hope. If you haven't got season tickets, you better get them, because I think there's like pretty close to 5,000 season tickets already sold, and there's
really.
There's a lot of excitement, and that's exciting. That we don't play games for another year and a half. Or a year,
and there's already 5,000 season ticket holders.
Yeah,
at least I'm telling you, man, we're starving for this.
No, it's gonna be an electric environment. I even think it's gonna sell out in the stadium, and I think the tailgate's gonna sell out too. I think there's gonna be as many people out there with the carne asadas and all that stuff like that, watching the games on their TVs. I think it's gonna be
for sure, lot of fun. Man. The Vaquero everywhere, Vaquero Nation. Well, speaking of that, just kind of wrapping things up. Is there anything you can give us or tell us to kind of rally us up or get us salivating a little bit more? Anything upcoming or?
Well, I can tell you that we will have football players on campus August 18th.
August 18th.
And we'll start practice.
August 18th. That's like a month from now.
Yeah, 1 month from now, we'll have our class of 75 freshmen. They'll show up, and we'll start practicing shortly after that.
Oh, man. Okay.
So it's becoming very real.
So that's why we have that practice field out there right now. You guys gotta see that, man. Just on the side of the road, it looks, dude, that gave me chills, man. Like the orange, it's gorgeous, man. Like, so in a month you're gonna be getting on these guys pretty quick already, then, man. Like they're a month out.
And it's felt like forever. Like I said, I've even, further for the guys like Coach Bush, Coach Gamble, Coach Bowen, and Coach McDonald, who've been here since way before I was, and then I got here in November. It still feels like it's been forever, but it's going to be really, we've been chomping at the bits. We're excited. We want to coach. That's what we're here for, and we're excited to get these kids in and get to work.
You're probably more excited than the kids that are coming in, man.
I don't know, man. I know they're excited. It's. I think everybody's excited. Exactly like you put it. Even the community, it's special.
All right. Well, guys, if you're watching this, the recruiting class coming in, welcome to the Valley. Welcome home. Get this guy on shoulder pads, running through some drills. It's gonna happen, man. You know what? We're gonna see it on Channel 5 like in 2 months. Man. Like Coach Regalado, they're gonna be doing this like on the floor or something. It's gonna happen. But I mean, it's all in good fun. I'm excited for this program. I really am. Like just seeing like the facilities. I mean, and it's growing. Like we're so. I mean, literally the facility is still like under development, right? I mean, we're in like a portal. This is a temporary voting place, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So by the start of the season, everything's gonna be revamped and done. I can just imagine how I can see why you say it feels like it's taking forever. That's because like every day things are happening, right? And so like you just like last week was like 8 events ago, right? Or like whatever, how many steps in the process ago. So that's crazy.
Yeah, the way I like to put it is every day is another step in history. Every day we're making history. Everything we do, every meeting we have, anything I put on my board, we're all making history. Everything's brand new. Every day's a new day. So like I said, it's exciting. I'm just very fortunate to be here. I'm very thankful to Coach Bush for giving me this opportunity.
Awesome. And last question for you. Anybody wanting to get on Coach Regalado's good side, favorite meal?
Ooh, that's tough because I love food.
Okay.
You really, really can't go wrong with a well cooked ribeye.
Okay.
That's if I have the opportunity to order anything at a restaurant, it's usually a ribeye. But one of the favorite things I love, especially with my dad, that's what we do. We go get breakfast, but any like Mexican breakfast, like a really good, like that's how like a like chilaquiles or something like that.
Okay, like
What
real
was-
stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
what was ranchero? Like that's, I could eat that three meals a day if I wanted to.
Like machacado, like all
Yeah.
those types of things.
Mhm.
With the hot salsa on it and
Oh, yeah.
everything. Yeah. Okay. So Mexican breakfast
Mhm.
is what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's like I said.
And it was dinner or ribeye.
Yeah.
Okay. He was like, "Oh, breakfast works too."
Yeah,
He paused for a second.
I can eat breakfast for dinner. I'm not,
Yeah.
I don't discriminate.
This guy's playing Madden with the controls are all sauced up. Oh, do you put sauce on your ribeye, or is that a sin?
No, man. If the ribeye is cooked well enough, all you need is a little bit of salt, maybe a little bit of pepper.
Okay.
It's-
So
it's
don't
a-
even bring the A1 or barbecue sauce
Oh
or
man, you
anything.
just got it's with the right temp cooked. I usually go medium rare. Some people may want it a little more rare than that, but I mean, if they do it right, it's really good.
All right, well, there you go, guys. We got to know Coach Regalado a little bit better. I definitely wouldn't have. I wouldn't have guessed ribeye. I don't know. I was thinking more of a. Maybe I got influenced by your chicken. Dude, that thing looked amazing. Man.
Oh,
It
for
looks
sure.
so like juicy.
I eat a lot of chicken.
Do you?
But,
I mean, it keeps you lean, right?
Yeah, but it's like my little spoil myself meal is like if I go out to a restaurant, if they have a ribeye, I'm gonna try to order the ribeye.
So that's what you're gonna look for in the menu. Like,
That's what
check
I'm
if it's there.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. And what are you drinking with it?
Oh man, just water.
Okay.
Oh, a Diet Coke.
Okay. There we go.
That's been my staple forever.
Really?
And a Diet Coke.
Okay, yeah, it's a classic, like, and a Diet Coke at the end. All right, guys. Well, apparently as of right now we're 411 days away. I know I said this a billion times, man, but can't wait for this. Can't wait for this thing, man. There's so many, like, the alumni that have like just. I was actually thinking about like emailing like like Coach Bush or Chase Conk, right? Is that how you say his name?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because I met him and I was like, I hope I said that correctly. But anyway, I want to tell him like we should do a thing where like there's like, you know how there's like the student section, like where there's like an alumni section, because there's a whole bunch of us that like just graduated like
Yeah.
recently who wanted to be in the student section and didn't get to, like, my wife was like, we should she wanted to like sign up for a graduate class just to like just to get in the student section, like take like pottery 101, like a 2-hour credit course. And I was like, man, if we had like an alumni section, like even just for like the first game or the first season, because like, I mean, I'm telling you, there was a whole bunch of us that were like dying for that, man. I mean, and it's, you know, it's no, I mean, just because you graduated, I mean, the feeling is just as strong. You know, like we're pumped for this. I'm pretty sure everybody has like getting their gear already. Like, people's houses are looking like this orange right here. So I mean, I guess we'll see you on the sidelines pretty soon, man.
Yeah, man, pretty soon.
All right. Well, thanks for being here, Coach. I really appreciate it. We took time away from his NCAA tournament.
Man, it dropped today.
Yeah. his
2
standings.
hours ago.
His standings were like, man, this guy's gonna have to be playing like some. I don't even know how that works, but anyway. So thanks for being here, Coach. I appreciate that,
Absolutely.
man. You guys have a good one, okay?
Yes, sir.
We'll be rooting for you. Thanks. Later, guys.